Drummers Only is the UK's leading drum shop with store locations in Glasgow and Leeds. Be sure to like, subscribe, and let's do this.
Hi guys, Adam at Drummers Only here, and I am here with Femi Koleoso. How you doing, man?
I'm feeling good. I'm really happy to be here, man.
Yeah, you've had a bit of a journey getting here, right?
It was a nightmare. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong twice, but we got here in the end.
We got here in the end.
We got here, I played, everything's good.
It's all good. You played a good set, yeah, man. I saw some of it, and the drums sounded phenomenal. You sounded phenomenal.
Thank you, man. I was just happy to play. I played a bunch of like Ezra Collective tunes, some Gorillaz tunes, some Georgia stuff, and it was just nice to talk to everyone, be honest about my journey and what I'm up to and stuff, and I loved it, man.
Good, that's great. I mean, you know, what I wanted to ask you about personally was the Gorillaz. So for anyone who doesn't know or has never listened to Gorillaz, like, it's like an animated tribute. So what I'm personally curious about is how a gig like that works for yourself, because really, is it all to track? How does it all work?
So Gorillaz is really amazing in that we have a real kind of mindset of trying to keep as many things off the track as possible.
Right.
So there's actually two drummers on the gig. One that plays electric drums and triggers and percussion.
Yeah.
And then myself, who plays just a normal drum kit.
Cool.
So I'm playing real drums. Once in a while, you'd have like some triggers on the drum kit. So I'll hit the snare drum and a monkey will scream or something. But it's
standard.
Me playing the drums, exactly.
Yeah.
Me playing the drums. And then the percussionist playing all the kind of electronic bits that I can't replicate on a drum kit.
Sure. So, like, for you as a drummer, how do you have to approach the gig any differently from what, like, a standard gig that you would play, or like Ezra Collective, for example?
Yeah, I mean, there's more. Freedom would be a bad word to use because freedom makes it sound one's better than the other.
Sure.
But it's a different type of discipline playing in the Gorillaz. You've got a click in your ears.
Yeah.
You've got things that if I hit the snare drum too many times in a certain place, it'll mess up the triggers.
Right,
But at the same time, you're playing in a stadium, in a football stadium, so it's like you got to project out as much as you can and make sure the drums are heard. Ezra Collective's a bit more like loose and fluid, and in the moment you hear something, react to it, you know what I'm saying?
A bit more intimate.
Yeah, man, but both of them are beautiful in their own way, you know?
So obviously you're playing Ludwig, so what kit do you use? Do you use a similar kit with the Gorillaz like you do with Ezra Collective?
One of my favourite things about Ludwig is how versatile the drum kits are. I use a classic oak for everything.
Oh, yes! Yeah, man!
I use a classic oak for Ezra Collective. That'll be with the 18.
Right.
And then I'll use a classic oak for the Gorillaz with maybe a 20 or a 22. Yeah. Sometimes a 16 or an 18 tom.
Sure.
Ezra, I might use a 14 tom. Yeah. But it's the same drum kit because they're so versatile.
Yeah. What snare drum?
Sometimes I use a Vista Light.
Yeah.
I've got two custom Vista Lights that are rocking that I took on. To be fair, the last Gorillaz tour I used a Vista Light. The last Ezra tour I used a Vista Light. But then I've also got a cheeky little Black Beauty on the side.
A cheeky little Black Beauty. What
size
is it? What size?
What is it? 6.5 inches.
6.5. Yeah. The standard, man.
Exactly.
It's the go-to.
Man. Yeah. And then you switch them in and out. Gorillaz, I tend to take about 7 snare drums on tour.
Just seven?
I'll only use 2 at a time.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just like you feel. Did you catch that on camera?
I really hope so.
Yeah. About 7 different will be on the crew, and then the second snare. So I'll use the Vista Light as the main. The second one I'll switch out. Sometimes I'll use a piccolo.
Sure.
Some songs need that real 6.5, maybe even 7-inch deeper snare sound. You know what I'm saying? So keep it varied. I'm
curious. What's the worst thing that's happened to you on a gig?
Oh, worst thing that has happened to me on a gig. I was in New Orleans in a basketball stadium.
Right.
20,000 people supporting Bruno Mars.
Oh, right.
And my drum kit.
Just a small gig then?
Tiny little gig, and the entire drum kit fell off the riser.
No!
And I had to just pick it all up.
Really?
In front of 20,000 people.
Were you playing the track?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It was in the middle.
No.
I basically hit a floor. And it wasn't a Ludwig kick. It wasn't Ludwig.
Yeah, that's where you went wrong, man. Yeah.
Exactly. I won't say who it was that snaked me, but it was the last time I used them. But I hit a floor tom, and the leg went straight through.
Oh no!
And that just fell onto like the ride, which fell onto the high tom.
It was like Jenga.
It just kind of all Jenga collapsed one by one.
Oh man!
And the song stopped, and I picked it up one by one and carried on the gig. And I don't really like talking about that one.
Oh,
but
I'm sorry,
it's
man.
all good, man. I brought it up.
Don't cry, please don't cry.
It's all good.
So what's going on with you next? What's going on? Are you touring or?
I'm going to leave this moment right now, go upstairs, pack my bag.
Go for a lie down.
I've got one dinner to go to,
Yeah.
train back to London,
Right.
and then tomorrow I'll start Gorillaz rehearsals, and then we start the world tour.
Nice. Where does the tour start?
Uruguay, South
Nice.
America's
Oh,
leg,
wow.
the first leg.
And is it world tour?
Yeah, man. South America first. Then it gets quite blurry. We go to Australia at some point.
You just know you get on a plane every
Do
so
you know
often.
what I mean?
Yeah.
We got this app like Master Tour. I just look at that and that tells me where I got to go tomorrow.
Awesome. Well, Femi, thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you, man.
I hope the tour goes well.
Good luck with the podcast,
Make
man.
sure. What's your Instagram handle?
Femi on drums.
Femi on drums. So, guys, you make sure you follow Femi. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Anytime.
See you later, guys.
Peace.
Dude, thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Yeah.